Hi guys, and welcome back to another Let's Play with your host. See you later. That's me and our blacksmith Arturius. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode. I wanted to talk to you guys today about what to do if you have experienced a little bit of derpiness and something gets messed up in your game and you have to restart a new game. Now, disclaimer, we haven't gone too far with this character just yet, and haven't done any major questing or anything like that other than just hunting and gathering supplies, doing some crafting, leveling up smithing, things like that. So if you're in a earlier stage of your game, similar to me, and then something happens with your mod load order, or if you start experiencing difficulties with mods, which is what happened with me, I had some scripts that somehow got messed up with the mod immersive amazing follower tweaks IAFT, and I ended up having to restart my game because of a corrupted save file. I wasn't able to go back to an earlier place also because those save files ended up becoming corrupted as well. So my advice in those situations are don't panic. If you can if you can help it, try not to panic. Now, in order to help me with this issue, I am using a couple of tools that I'm going to talk about that are mods. One of them is the add item menu SE, and I'll put links for all of this stuff down in the description. So I basically used this to go through and look up items that I'd already crafted or things that I needed that were already in the previous episodes. So if I just do a search for something that, like an item like the market stall, I can search all items with the name market, or if what you type in the search happens to have it in the name of the mod menu itself will come up, and then you can just look there. If I need to re-add this item to my inventory, it just opens it as if it is a container, and you can just take the item. So I now have the market stall. If I look in my inventory down here, you can see I have the market stall. If I drop it, it'll work just fine. So that's basically how I was able to get my bow and my hunting knife and all of my armor back. I just did the search and re-added back all of the stuff that we've already crafted together in the previous episodes. And then, so once I took care of my stuff, obviously I was a level 1 character. So I used another tool that I'm going to probably talk about a little more in depth to re-level my character to get him back to where he was. Now, I made a little bit of a even bigger mistake, which was, if you check up here, look at this. This says Nord. And the whole character, the whole premise behind this character is that he's an Imperial. And because I accidentally forgot when I was re-leveling the character to switch his race over to Nord, now all of my stats are going to be messed up, and I've already assigned all of these perk points, which is also not a good thing because we're using Ordinator. It's not as easy to take those perks back away again. So just to show you, if I go right now into the menu here, I have a bat file set up that I downloaded from the Nexus. It's very useful for file to use. It's just a text document, and inside the text document there are commands, console commands. And actually, before I do that, I'll go ahead and show you the bat file in my Skyrim folder. I'll just minimize Vortex. So right here we have some text files. One is called impbase. I use that one later, but for right now I'll use this one that's called reset me. And if you look, what it does is it sets the player AV, player.setAV, and it resets all of your skills back to 10. It resets your player level to level 1, takes away all your dragon souls, and then if you're using vanilla or the base game without using a perk uh, perk tree overhaul like I am using Ordinator, these will work just fine to remove all of the available perks from your character. It doesn't work with Ordinator because Ordinator assigns new IDs to the perks. So you can still try to use this if you want to, and it will work, but it won't remove your perks unless you have the vanilla game. For the health, magic, and stamina, those will also be reset to 100, and then it'll open up the show race menu. So I'll just show you what happens if you did like me and you made a mistake with the characters' values. If I try to, we'll just go back to the game. If I try to do show race menu because I wanted to change him um, back to an Imperial, close console. See, I forgot when I loaded him up that I needed to change his race. You should do that in the very beginning, but if I do change now to Imperial, it'll work, but obviously we lose our character stuff. So when I originally made Arturius' character, because I'm using the race menu mod, I have an option for presets. And if I load a preset, I can reload Arturius here, and that gives us our character back. And then when we go back to the sliders over here, I did that before, and the problem was it was still stuck on. It doesn't actually load the race. It doesn't save the race when you do the preset. It's just the look sliders that it's saving. So you do need to make sure that you hit the correct race. Now, if you didn't do that, like I'm just showing you, I'm showing you actually what is the wrong way because I already leveled the character as a Nord accidentally. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done here, and we have his name. That's fine. And so the problem is, if you see it says perks successfully added to player. If we go back up now, you'll see that we're leveling again, which is odd. And also you'll notice that my one-handed is level 40. This is incorrect. This should only be in the 20s. And then also archery at level 45. I think I was a maximum of 26 or something like that. It didn't. I still have all these perks here. So obviously, changing the race to Imperial messed up my skill levels. And again, don't panic. There are things you can do. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to use that file, the bat file, for reset me. I want to show you how that works. So I'm just going to type in bat reset me, and that'll look for that text file, and it'll run all of those console commands. And you can see the last one was show race menu, so it'll also open the show race menu. But if I just page up here, you can see those are all of the commands that it ran. And some of them are telling me that item F329A not found for parameter perk, and that's because of the Ordinator mod. So if we exit out of here, I'll just hit done again, accept, and we go back. Again, now we're level 1. It's going to force us to level a couple of times because of the stats. Okay, so as you can see now, we're at level 3, and we have perks to increase of 6, which is incorrect. You shouldn't have that many perks. And if we check out our perk tree, we can see we already still have our perks loaded. So we'll need to get rid of those before we try to level our character. The way you're going to get rid of these extra perks is to just pick something like sneak and just go ahead and add a perk to it and then take it away using the console. And I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to do a search, and I was typing search before and couldn't find anything. The command is help. That's how you search for something. So I'm going to look up sneak. Mastery. That's the first level of Sneak, and you can see it comes up with 2 different perks for Sneak Mastery. And then we're going to type in player dot, no spaces, remove perk, and then what is the perk that we're going to remove. So we're going to remove BE126, BE126, no need to add the zeros, and then if you just hit the up arrow, it'll bring up whatever you just typed, and you can just change the end part, C07C6, C07C6, and then if we exit and go back up, we'll see we now have no perks in Sneak Mastery. I typed in both because I don't know which one is the first and which one is the second, and it doesn't hurt anything to try to remove a perk if you don't have it already. So I'll go through and do the same thing with all of those perks. We'll do light armor, archery, one-handed, and smithing, and I'll remove all of those perks manually. It does take some time. You do have to do some searching. And I'll also go ahead and keep re-adding a perk to Sneak so that we can get rid of our extra perks that we shouldn't have. So I'm going to work on that for just a second, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we've gotten rid of all of our perks out of the perk trees that have been applied before. And I'm just going to go back over to Sneak, and I still need to get rid of a couple of the spare perk points. If you are at level 3, you should only have 2 perk points available. So I need to get rid of 2 more. So I'll do Sneak, and then I'll do lockpicking. And that'll put us at the correct number of perks. So then I'll just remove Sneak and lockpicking. So we'll go back here. Sneak, Mastery, and then remove perk, BE126, and C07C6. And then we'll also look up lockpicking mastery. And then we'll remove those perks as well, which will be BE125 and F3E92A, 392A. And now if we go back, we should see we have only the 2 perks. We have no perks in lockpicking or sneak, and our level is at level 3. Now, I don't want to be level 3 and have the 2 perk points, because then we would have the incorrect level of health and stamina. So I'm actually going to run that previous bat file again. So I'm just going to go bat, reset me, and then we'll go ahead and just double check. This is our character. He is still an Imperial. Done and done. Very good. Now if we check, we have level 1 and we have 2 perk points. So again, we still have 1 too many perk points. At level 1, you should have 0 perk points. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one, and we'll do the lockpicking again. And the nice thing is, since we already typed those in, we can just go back in and go up to where I did the search for Sneak Mastery, and then we can go remove that perk, and then I'll go back up to Sneak Mastery, remove that perk, then we'll go back up to where we typed in Lockpicking Mastery, remove that one, and that one. And that should get rid of all of our perk points. So now we are at level 1. We're not at a pure level 1 because we got a little bit of overhanging XP, but we have no perks and everything is at level 10. Now you may be saying, well, everything is at level 10. So what do I do? Well, I'm going to use another bat file that I'll show you that I set up based on the previous one, which is called imp base. And basically I just removed everything. I left in the set level 1 just to make sure that it didn't level me. And then I went in and I typed in all of the normal base stats for an Imperial. So that's where the imp comes from. And so now all I should have to do is go back in the game, and if I type the bat file again, I won't do reset me, I'll do imp imperial base, imp base, and if we go back up, now we're at level 1, but all of our stats are reset to what they should be. So I should have one-handed at 20, block and heavy armor at 20, enchanting at 20, restoration at 25, destruction at 20, and everything else should be at level 15, because that's what we have for our base. Now you might be asking, well, how come I didn't go ahead and set all of these to what I knew they were before? Because I'm going to use a different tool to level our character back to where he was, and that's going to cause us to level our health and stamina and our magicka properly, and it's going to actually give us the correct amount of XP for the levels here. So we're going to level the skills individually back to where they were, and in the process we'll have to level up our character much more naturally. And I've found this is actually a better way. It's much safer and much more stable, and the tool that we're going to use for that is a player home mod. And that player home mod is called the Leveler's Tower. It can be found, I'll leave a link in the description, but it can be found in the cheats section and the player home section of the Nexus. And the reason it's in the cheat section is precisely for the reasons that we're going to use it. There is a laboratory inside of the Leveler's Tower that will allow us to manually set our player's skills and level him up. Hence the name Leveler's Tower. And one of the reasons I like this mod is in previous years, I mean, it's a really, really old mod. It's been around forever for Legendary Edition, even before it was called Legendary Edition. I'll just say the original Skyrim. And then it's been recently ported, I think within the last year or so, to Special Edition. So it works just fine in Special Edition. And if you come down here to the basement of the tower and then through into the laboratory, you'll see you have some of these walls set up here with a bunch of buttons and different command activators. And the ones that we're going to utilize are, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, I'm just going to show you the way I do it. So for instance, our light armor, speech, smithing. So we know we had a pretty high level of smithing. So if I just press this, it's going to increase our smithing skill level by 1. Now, if you're not careful and you press it for a little bit too long, sometimes it'll give you, it'll actually register 2 key presses. So just give it nice sharp key presses, and then it will, just as fast as you can press the button, it will register every single key press. So I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And as you can see, we are leveling up naturally in our level progress, and it is adding those skill points to our smithing. And what I did for my character was I just went through, I looked at the previous episode to see what all of my levels were at, and I just reassigned those skill levels using these panels to the character. I did some for smithing, was the majority. I had leveled the speech through the use of the market stall. I had leveled alchemy through the use of the crafting over at Bothella's shop, the Hag's Cure. And that was for stuff to sell at the market stall as well. So I'll just go ahead and show you. If I go and level up now, I can put points into health and stamina, and I'm now at a proper level 3, and I have the correct number of perk points to assign. So I would recommend don't assign any perk points yet, especially if you make a mistake. And then also, before you start using this panel, at least make a quick save. If not, make a hard save. That way, if you do make a mistake, it'll be easy for you to go back and fix it. So I'll just give us some more points. I'll give us a couple points in one-handed, archery we had some points in, and then speech we had some points in. And you can see if I do this, it's just going to add them as if they were added legitimately in game. And then when we want to level up, we can level up again, and it'll give us the correct number of perk points. You should always have one less number of perk points than your level. All right, so I'm not going to wait around for that. That's pretty much how that works. Can you use this mod to cheat and increase your unarmed damage weight and damage and your carry weight? Can you use it to spawn in pelts and crafting materials? Yes, you can. It is a cheat mod. So if you're interested in not playing a legit game and you want to cheat yourself, yeah, go ahead. It's your game, and you should play it the way you want to play it. I'm role-playing a character, and I want him to progress naturally. I'm only using this mod for him because I want to get us back to where we were in our new clean save that doesn't have the scripting issues. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's how I took care of getting us basically a brand new save game. I will talk about, I did get rid of the immersive amazing follower tweaks. I found it to be super buggy. I'd never experienced those problems with AFT in the past, but IAFT is a different mod than AFT, and even when it's unintentional, sometimes people who port mods or are working on mods, even with the original mod author, you have to be kind of careful about how stable the mods are. Sometimes you can only find that out by using the mods for a while, but if you're doing that, make sure you're on a save game that you don't mind restarting. So I've switched over, and we're not using AFT anymore. We're going to be using a mod called Nethers. Let me go ahead and pull that up. If I can, I got fat fingers. Nethers follower framework, and I'll put a link for this one down in the description as well. I'll put lots of links in the description for the tools and things that I'm talking about today, so that way if you guys have this problem in the future, you can check that out as well. Hopefully this is helpful for you. I'm also using a mod called the Kids Are Alright. I added this one as well, and I got some patches for it. So this overhauls the Children of Skyrim, and there are lots of patches available to tweak the kids from other mods and beyond Skyrim. Bruma, for instance, and let's see, Cutting Room Floor adds a child actor. Helgen Reborn has some children, and that mod addresses all of those. The kids are alright. The version I'm using, the children are still marked as invincible. You can't kill them. However, if the children are available as followers, there is a way to make them fight and take damage. And also, I believe those kids are not immortal, and they've been marked with a different type of tag. So check out that mod as well. we'll be using that in our playthrough coming up soon. Anyway, guys, it's been nice hanging out. I hope that what we went over was helpful. If it is, leave a comment in the description, leave a like for us. If it wasn't helpful, leave us a thumbs down and tell us why you didn't like it and didn't think it was helpful. I'm See You Later, guys. It's been fun hanging out. It's been stressful for me trying to get this guy back to where he was and have a clean save file, but it was fun and a learning experience in the process. I'm See You Later, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.